Hi, I'm Brett and this is our video update on the EVO X. Now we're about to take the car to our first track day to do some base testing, so we've got some data to compare to, because it's all good to modify a car and make it better, quicker, stop better, but if you don't have the original standard settings to compare to, there's no way of measuring how much improved it is or how much better. So what I want to show you, we've just done an update of the car prior to our test day, but I'm going to show you some complete things on the car which is standard, and then as we progress over the next couple of months we'll show you what we've modified. But what I want to show first is, on this model it's got a massive under tray, but in particular it's got this big aerodynamic groove to direct air into the transmission, because obviously Mitsubishi have realised that the transmission on this model, when it's been driven hard, needs cooling, and the actual flutes on the transmission aid in reducing the heat of obviously the transmission inside. The other thing which is different on this model is obviously much bigger wheels and brakes, and a revised exhaust system as well, because obviously, as you know, the turbo is at the back of the engine now, so the exhaust comes down out of the back. Got this massive catalytic converter. This is the rear O2 sensor, which measures the unburnt gases going out the exhaust. Very, very critical in highway cruising and fuel economy effects on the way the ECU tunes and runs the car. Some of the brackets and things on this car is rather interesting. I don't know why Mitsubishi have done it like this, because you would think this would get hooked and pull off, and you'd think they'd put the bolt at the front and not the back, but obviously there's a good reason why. The standard exhaust system has obviously got a lot of heat shielding on it, but one other thing I want to point out, it's interesting comparing this model to the Impreza. The Lancer's got 2 centre bearings, whereas the Subaru Impreza STI and WRX has only got 1. Around the back to another, we call it a hot dog or a resonator assembly to reduce droning in the exhaust system. And again, another heat shield to reduce the radiant heat as it raises when the car's stationary, up on obviously the rear suspension components and bushes for the rear diff. And then around the back here, differently to the previous model, because this model's now got twin outlets, it's got a flexible joint in the back here, so you can see when everything moves, this provides a way of insulating the back muffler, which is more firmly and rigidly mounted to the body compared to the rest of the exhaust system, which hangs on these rubber hangers. The suspension in the back inherently has got some small changes, but basically very similar to the previous EVO 9. And if I get my cameraman to spin right around and look at it from the back, you'll notice the rear diff is also very similar to the EVO 9 as well, with the hydraulic lines for the active diff control, the different drain points, which is important to point out for the different areas in the diff, because you've got to remember an EVO 9 diff has got several different capacities of filling oil, both from the crown wheel and pinion, the diff area and the AYC. And we'll get to turn around another way and you'll see, I just want to point out, this is the AYC diff pump assembly, where all the pressure control module is generated for the hydraulic lines, which form part of the, obviously, the critical components of the way the EVO works so well. So there you have it. You can see the car with all the standard components. One of the big things that you'll notice in the next stage of our upgrades is we're going to change the rear sway bar. We'll be changing bush components, because obviously one of the big benefits of fitting the white line sway bars is we'll get the adjustability. So take in mind that we've got these standard components, and obviously you'll see a change in the front. So the other thing that we're working on rapidly at the moment is our upgraded exhaust system, which is just about ready to be released. Obviously we haven't fitted one to our car yet, but we've got access to quite a few other EVO Xs which form part of our R&D process. For more technical information, remember you can get a whole heap more videos and audio files at mrtperformance.com.au. Stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching. Speak to you again soon.